So the winner is... Welcome to our game show. I'm first of all going to introduce you to the contestants, the people who are going to take part, and then I'll explain to you what we're going to play today. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Mike. Say hi, Mike.
Hiya.
Say hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
James, say hi.
Hi.
And we have Simon.
Hello.
Excellent. Okay, guys, so today's game, we're going to play 2 lies and 1 truth. The rules are pretty simple. You have all come armed with 2 lies and 1 truth. Your job is to convince us of the truth or the lies and make sure that you can get away with your particular lie. So, I am going to start first and foremost. Number 1, Charles Dickens predicted the modern day computer. Number 2, released in 1986, the first computer virus was called the Brain. Number 3, the CEO of a business can assign accountability for cybersecurity to a board member as long as it's defined in their job description. So it's over to you guys. Lee, you can ask me any questions you like about any one of those 3.
Can you expand on Charles Dickens? Did you say invented the modern day computer or
invent it? He predicted it.
Predicted it.
Charles Dickens was actually a good friend of Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace. They were renowned friends. They operated, or they went in the same circles at the time, the same social circles. And Charles Dickens, in one of his many papers, he was actually able to talk about the fact that in the future there would be machinery that would overtake mankind and be able to replace the brain. So he predicted the computer. So there you go. So I'm going to start with you, Lee. Which one do you think it is?
That's a difficult one. I'm going to go with Charles.
You think that's the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know enough about him.
Okay. Mike, which do you think it is?
I'm going to go with number 2, the virus.
Okay. And Simon, which do you think is true?
I'm going to go with the CEO assigning responsibility.
Okay. And James?
I was going to go with Charles Dickens, but then you used the word brain, and it felt like you were drawing on the story of your second one, which leads me to think that probably your second is the truth.
Okay, well, we will find out at the end. All right, so Mike, would you like to tell us all your 2 lies and 1 truth?
Yeah, of course. So the first one, when scoping DDoS protection, oversizing perimeter firewalls is the best method to protect against a volumetric attack. The bigger the firewall, the bigger attack you can ride out. Number 2, human, digital and physical are all key concerns when planning a defensive strategy for your assets. But cybersecurity and security of digital assets is the sole responsibility of the CISO and the IT team. Number 3, awareness training is the best form of defense against social engineering. Although even hackers get attacked. The recent phishing attacks show it's no longer misspelled princes trying to give you their inheritance, but these are now well-funded and politically relevant subjects.
Okay, so James, would you like to ask Mike any questions about the 3 that he's just given us?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to talk a little bit about the firewall story, just see if we can weed that one out nice and early. Collaborate on a little bit more on how the size of the firewall is going to mitigate a DDoS attack.
So when you're talking about volumetric attacks, it's the amount of traffic that is going to be thrown at the application, at the website, at whatever. So the bigger the firewall, the more bandwidth it can support, the more packets, the more flows. So the bigger the firewall, the better the ability to ride out that attack.
So James, which do you think it is? Is it 1, 2, or 3 that is the truth?
I think the firewall is the red herring.
But which one is true?
The last one.
Lee, which do you think it is?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the firewall one, but you're expanding on something to a point. You're trying to expand it for the whole globe. You've got to think through what the amount of DDoS attacks would come in from. So I'm not sure that that's quite correct. I'm going to go with 3, which was, as you called them out, that was my first thought.
Simon, which do you think it is? Which one is the truth?
I'm going to go for 3. Mainly, I think the firewall is less about the size of the device, but more about the infrastructure that comes into that. I don't think I fully understood the second one. But the third one seems very plausible.
Okay, so I'm going to go with number 3 as well. So Mike, could you tell us which one is the truth, please?
So number 3 is the truth.
Excellent. Okay. We will now move on to you, Simon. If you could give us your 2 lies and 1 truth.
Sure. So number 1, when sending passwords to other people or users, it should be sent via text message. Number 2, a passphrase of 7 random words is virtually uncrackable. And number 3, you should not use password managers to store all your passwords because they often have vulnerabilities in them.
Mike, would you like to ask Simon some questions?
Yeah, awesome. So the so the one that I've got question in my head at the moment is the third one, the password manager, because obviously it's one of those things you see recommended all the time.
Yeah.
So if you could expand on that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so there's lots of password managers out there, LastPass, 1Password and so forth, but they are then in themselves software, and they have vulnerabilities in them. So if someone was if someone was to exploit that vulnerability in that password manager, then that's all your passwords gone.
Right, interesting. Okay, so Mike, which do you think it is that is the truth? Which one is the truth?
So the truth, I think the 7 random words in a password as a passphrase is almost uncrackable. So number 2.
Lee, which do you think is the truth?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with Mike there. I think it's the passphrase of 7. I mean, sending passwords via text. Yeah, I'd like to see you getting that one across. And the password manager as well. Yeah, there are vulnerabilities, but it's how you manage them.
And James, which do you think it is?
He was a hacker, isn't he? A lifelong hacker. I think that he would send a password by text. I would bet a kidney that he wouldn't use password manager. So I'm going to say that the incorrect answer. What am I? Hang on.
Truth.
The truth is the sending a password by text.
So I'm going to be a little bit controversial in as much as I'm disagreeing with you. I think the truth is the password managers are inherently vulnerable. Knowing that hackers are professional paranoids, they wouldn't trust an external piece of software of that nature. So I'm going to say the truth is number 3. Simon, which is it?
So it's number 2, that the passphrase with 7 random words is virtually uncrackable. Even if you know that the person has used 7 common English words, the number of variations is so high that if you take into account, I think Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA can crack 1 trillion passwords per second, it would still take the NSA 1,000 years to crack that password.
So, James, could we hear your 2 lies and 1 truth, please?
You certainly can, and I've dug deep in the history books for a couple of these guys. Right. In 2016, Mark Zuckerberg had his social media accounts hacked when it was revealed he had used da as his password, which is widely understood to be his son Max's first word. My next fact. The term cyber warfare was first coined by Ronald Reagan in 1981 at an erroneous secret intelligence briefing on the imminent invasion of alien cyborgs. And my third fact for you, the world's fastest hack to arrest record was in Moscow in 2003. One hapless Igor Lukanin unwittingly hacked Vladimir Putin's mother's email account and was arrested 13 minutes later. There you go, factoids for you.
Wow. Simon, would you like to cross-examine James on any of those?
Yes. So the cyber warfare and Ronald Reagan. Sorry, what was the conference again? The meeting that they were having?
It was what happened. There were 3 UFO sightings reported back from 3 different air bases.
Yeah.
And the Secret Service had already started to put in plans as to what would happen during an alien invasion. And through a process of Chinese whispers, before they knew it, they had Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy out of bed in the bunker, talking them through this imminent invasion of alien cyborgs. And it was Chinese whispers and paranoia at the time. And before you knew it, he'd said, "What is this cyber warfare?"
And what year was that?
1983, I think.
So Simon, which do you think is the truth?
I am going to go with the first one, Mark Zuckerberg's account being hacked.
Zuckerberg, right.
Lee, which do you think it is? Which is the truth?
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg's accounts have been hacked, but I don't recall it being because of a password I'm going with the Reagan one just because I like the sound of that and I like Ronald Reagan, so there you go.
Mike, which do you think it is? Which is the truth?
I'm with Lee. I've got to go number 2, just because it's awesome. Because if that is made up, it's just brilliant.
Just because it made me laugh. Number 2 as well. I think that's the truth. James, which is it?
I desperately wanted to be to number 2 because it's inexplicable how else I could have come up with that. But sadly for creativity, it's number 1. It's Zuckerberg. He named his password da after his son's first word. The other 2 are fragments of my imagination.
Fantastic. Excellent. Right. Okay. So finally, we have Lee. Would you like to give us your 2 lies and 1 truth, please?
If I outsource my infrastructure to an external data center that is ISO 27001 compliant, I then don't have to bother or worry about getting ISO 27001 certificate myself because I'm already covered. The world's first cyber attack was in 1834. And the last one is that as a consultant, I can bring in specialist infrastructure to make your systems 100% secure.
Okay, so I've not questioned anyone, so I'm going to question you then, Lee, this one. So tell us a little bit more about this very first cyber attack, please.
So this was an attack on the French telegraph system by a couple of reprobates that were working on the sort of equivalent of the stock exchange at the time, and they bribed an official to send encoded messages through the telegraph infrastructure. And it only came to light a couple of years later when the official themselves was off sick, and they tried to then use the same trick with his replacement, and his replacement grasped them up.
Okay, so I'll go around the room first. Mike, which do you think it is? Is the truth 1, 2, or 3?
Number 2.
James, which do you think it is?
Yeah, cyber attack, number 2.
Simon?
I'm going to be controversial. I don't think it would be a cyber. I'm going to go with number 1, which seems sketchy as well, to be honest.
All seems sketchy. Okay, so I think the truth is number 2. Lee, which is the truth?
Well, of course, there is no consultancy out there that can give you 100% secure systems, so that's definitely out. Also, you cannot by proxy obtain ISO 27001 certification, so the correct answer is the cyber attack in 1834.
Now we've concluded that, we're going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to give you the answers to my questions. So you hopefully remember which ones you said that you felt the truth were. First and foremost, Charles Dickens didn't predict the modern day computer. However, he did go in the same circles as Babbage and Ada Lovelace, so they were friends. You cannot outsource accountability to someone else. So number 3 is wrong. In actual fact, the very first, or what we know as the first computer virus, was actually born in 1986, and it was actually created by 2 brothers. People kept stealing their software, so they came up with this idea that if someone didn't have the license key for their software, as soon as someone put the floppy disk into the computer, it would copy itself into their computer and come up with a banner message saying, you're using illegal software, and therefore you need to pay. So, in reverse order, we have James with 1. Well done, James. Thanks for coming. It's been great.
Thank you. Wooden spoon.
Gary and Mike are also in the last place as well. So, we didn't do so well, Mike.
Thank you.
It's not on his own. It's not his own. We get 3 wooden spoons. That's all I can say to you. In second place, we have Lee Scoring. So the winner is Simon. Congratulations, Simon. Well done. So we don't currently have a prize for you to hand out over to you, but we will get you your prize. We're going to give you a fish tank, but it's fish spelt with a PH. So, it's a turtle. Yeah, you can put that in your fish tank. There you go. So there you are. So thank you very much for playing, guys. This was the very first edition of 2 Lies and 1 Truth. We will play again. We hope that you enjoyed playing this game as well. If you did, leave a comment below to give your thoughts. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave us a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you.